Sound is.
Nico, it finally happened, mate. He's here in the room with us. How long has this journey been?
Look, it's been a long journey, mate, but even me personally, I've been following this guy since, 2013 when he first started fighting down at, I think it was the Croatian club. One of his first fights were there, but it's been a long time in the waiting.
And he is, I want to say a local legend, but he's an international legend now among the Greek diaspora, and for really good reason as well, isn't he? Like, I mean, the way that he's conducted himself and the fights that he's been involved in, it's inspiring, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Look, every Greek follows him now, and not only Greeks, every non-Greek. It's just the way he goes about his business, total professional. And look, I just can't wait for you to introduce him.
Yeah. I mean, we've had guests who have been on like the Stephen Colbert's Late Show, as well as some of the high-profile shows. But this is actually the first one we have in common with Rogan, which is a big moment for us. He's slumming it with us now.
Are we like Rogan now?
If only.
Eh?
If only. But look, enough talking about it. The reality is he doesn't really need any introduction to Greeks anywhere across the globe, as I said. But for the record, our guest is an Australian professional boxer who held the WBA, IBF, WBO, and the Ring lightweight titles. He was ranked as the world's number 1 lightweight by The Ring and TBRB, and the world's number 3 lightweight by BoxRec. Renowned for his incredibly strong affiliation with his Greek Spartan heritage, evidenced by the fact that he enters the ring with both the Greek and Australian flags, he's become a symbol for the Greek diaspora the world over. And Nick, he's another one from right here in the Uzo Talk backyard. Amazing, isn't it?
It is, mate. He's one of us.
Yes, and finally with us in the distillery, fighting out of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, George Ferocious Kambosos. Welcome, mate.
Woo. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, guys. It's been obviously a long time. We've been trying to organise it, but we're finally here.
Great to have you here, mate. And you're looking as sharp and as fit as ever, mate.
Yeah, we've been training extremely hard, working in the shadows. I've been putting too much out there, but training extremely hard, getting ready for the next challenge, the next opportunity to not only get back to the top of boxing, but to raise the flag.
Yeah.
Not only for Australia, but for all of Greece.
Just some of the social media that's been coming out recently. I mean, talk Ferocious. It's frightening, like, the speed and the viciousness of some of these videos. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it, Nick?
Oh, definitely. Look, all your clips that you're posting, it sounds like you're getting better and better.
Yeah, I truly believe I am. Even coming off these 2 losses I had to Devin Haney, he's an elite boxer. You learn from these kind of fights, iron sharpens iron. So, I'm very excited for my next fight to be able to showcase the experience and how much of a better fighter I have become. I'm still 29, still, young in the sport, and, I've achieved obviously so much, but, I'm very hungry to continue that legacy. So, we're working extremely hard. And like you said, we are getting better and better every day.
It's a good point you said. So you're 29. When does a boxer peak?
Look now, 29, 30, as a lightweight, I feel that I'm really coming to my prime. I feel like I'm hitting harder than ever. I'm fitter than ever. And, this is the time now to redo it again. I've done it. I achieved it all. Won all the belts.
Oh,
I got to the top of boxing. This is the second coming now. So it's very exciting, very
Absolutely.
motivating. And until it's time to hang them up, I'm going to give everything I have to the sport.
I don't know about you, mate. I'm getting goosebumps just hearing that.
I agree. I mean, it feels to me like you're really just at the beginning of your career, despite, how much you've managed to achieve. So I think we should get into the episode properly. What do you reckon, Nick?
Definitely, mate. Let's kick it off.
Yamas.
Cheers, boy. Welcome, George.
Thank
And it has to be said that George is not going to be drinking with us today for obvious reasons. He is a man in training, an elite athlete. We don't expect
he's
anything
drinking.
less.
He's
I'm
drinking
some
what is it?
natural coconut water.
Fantastic.
But I won't give them a plug because they're not sponsoring or giving any money. Or maybe they will after this.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Does it help drinking that kind of stuff? What do you normally drink to hydrate throughout the day?
Water, more alkaline water, Alka Power, and a bit of coconut water. Obviously in the morning, just refresh all your electrolytes, get your hydration up to where it needs to be. And obviously we've got a big training session later on in the afternoon, sparring. So I want to make sure I'm fully hydrated throughout the day, so I can get everything in that session.
Mate, this is a level of elite athlete that you and I haven't really come across.
To get to the top, you gotta be perfectionist, and look, I'm still learning every day. I'm still getting better and better. I'm filling in, the little blanks where I've made mistakes in the past, not by choice. I've made the mistakes just by accident, not knowing, not understanding. So I've learned more and more as my career has progressed, and now again we got to the top. We can do it again if we fill in even more of the blanks, the little,
all the little
not even
1%ers.
not even the 1%,
Really?
1%ers. We do the 1%ers. It's the point,
Wow.
0.1%ers.
Yeah.
Small things. Small
So
detail.
what is it? Is it you're more in tune with your body, what you need? What are these little learnings that you're picking up on? That we can
Nutrition.
talk about?
I'm learning more and more about my nutrition. I've brought in nutritionists now. I've brought in the right team, to make sure that every bit of food or hydration I put into my body, it's going to benefit me, for my training sessions. Like they say, that you wouldn't put, normal fuel in a supercar. So you need to make sure that you put the right fuel into, a super athlete like myself.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's so technical though, isn't it?
It is. People think that it's just two guys stepping in the ring and fighting, but when you got like me and Haney or me and Lopez, the top of the top, the elite of the elite, guys ready to fight for 12 rounds, 36 minutes. It takes so much than just two guys getting in there. Now, a lot of people see the bright lights, they see the fight, but they don't see behind the scenes the hard work, the diet, the nutrition, the stress of what comes with professional fighting, contracts, legal issues. There's always little things. So you got to make sure you stay focused, obviously, on the fight, but it's the small details that ultimately can make a bigger effect on the fight.
I mean, I've been involved in professional rugby league previously, and Nick, you've been involved as well to some degree. I mean, this is a step up, and this is even from first grade. This is a level of attention to detail, I feel, that is on a whole other level. What do you reckon?
It sounds like a science formula. That's what you're looking for. You got to have this at a certain time, or these type of foods. And I guess it's tailor-made. It's not everyone would have the same sort of routine, I'm assuming.
No,
Your body,
everyone's different. Everyone's different. That's why you do your bloods, where not just normal blood tests. We've done blood tests to check everything. What levels, there's some certain foods that might not go with my blood, but would be better for you guys. So there's always certain things that you got to make sure that the athlete, can have in his body. DEXA scans, where you're checking exactly how much muscle mass and how much fat that you have on your body. All these small little scientific things to keep pushing you better
Just
and
to
better.
give you a slight
edge. That's all it is. In this game, when you're at the top, we all work hard. We're all going to put in extreme amounts of hard work in the gym.
So by the time you get to the weigh-in, or actually step into the ring, you must be feeling as though you are absolutely unstoppable every time you step in, and it's like, I have done absolutely everything. All the 0.001%ers that we could have done, we've done. Like, what does that feel like?
Most of the time you feel unbelievable. And as my career is progressing, it's more and more. There has been certain times, unfortunately, when I did lose a fight, especially in the first fight with Haney, that I walked out in front of 45,000 people and I didn't feel right at all.
Really?
Oh, really? We'll get to that.
Not because of the way I ate or that was all perfect. My training was perfect. I just got extremely drained with a lot of the the training and a lot of the media work
Commitments.
and the commitments. But again, I gave him my all. He's an unbelievable fighter. And then obviously in the second fight,
Definitely
came in a different fighter. And again, he had my number. So
but in both fights, I don't think you never took a backward step.
No.
You just
For
kept
me,
on
I will
going.
never take a backward step. You can hit me with any shot. You can knock me out to get me out of there. I'm going to keep coming. I'm going to keep giving everything I have. So
even for us, when we saw the fights, it looked like on the scorecard you lost, but you didn't lose. You didn't beat you.
he didn't knock me out.
You just kept on
He
going.
He didn't batter me. Obviously, we
you
took
weren't-
shots, and I gave him my shots. So
Definitely.
he beat me on a boxing fight on a point system.
That's right. But I don't think he really defeated you. You weren't crushed by him at all.
No, I never crushed. I was never mentally, extremely upset. For me, it's a learning curve. I never, even to that point when I hadn't lost before, I was never worried about the loss. I was never worried about protecting the record.
Yeah.
And that's why I chose to fight a guy like Devin Haney or Vasily Lomachenko when we were trying to make that fight happen. I've never been afraid of, what people are going to think, he had a loss, he's not this so-called guy that they talk about. For me, I know that the losses give me better experience for my next future wins. So
definitely.
Never fear the L, and keep improving in your career.
Because there are boxers who do protect that, aren't there? I mean, try and take some easier fights and don't really challenge themselves. That's still sort of
there is. And look, I'll be honest. When we won the belts, we had every opportunity to do the same.
Yep.
We had 10 different names where they were not going to be difficult fights. Milking the game, picking who you want to fight. Look at me, Australia. Look at me, Greece.
Yep.
I got all the belts. I knocked out this guy in 2 rounds. I knocked this guy out in 3-4 rounds. I could have done that, chased the easier money and, being not real to the fighter that I am. But I was so adamant. I said, nah, give me the best guys. Is it an ego thing? Is it maybe, I want to keep proving myself against the best of the best, regardless of a win or a loss. So
Just sounds
that's
like
the way.
you love the challenge.
I love the challenge. That's what it is.
Challenge, yeah.
That's what it is. People say that, he should have maybe taken an easier fight. Yeah, in hindsight, maybe, but in hindsight, I learned so much as well from the losses fighting, a top guy and a rise into the challenge. And if you come off second best, big deal. So it's a sport, it's a fight game.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, before we go any further, let's acknowledge the fact that we're drinking a lovely vodka from our good friends at the Greek Providor, aren't we, Nick?
We are, mate. It's a premium quality vodka. We've had this before in the episode, but it's straight from Greece. And the good thing is, I looked at the bottle. The guy that made it actually signs the bottle, and he's got a batch number as well.
Individually?
I don't know about individually, but there's a fucking signature there and a batch number. So we're drinking batch 0004. So that's how we're talking about quality on this show.
I mean, look at that bottle. That's brilliant.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
It is.
And it is a nice vodka.
Mate, it's so smooth. Like, again, we've had this heaps of times. And look, thank you, Crystal and the Greek Providor. Again, we only get good quality stuff from you guys. So keep it up.
Yep. And thegreekprovidor.com.au for all of your Greek products. If you need anything, Crystal is the girl to go to, absolutely. And thanks also to our new sponsors in Sobe Cafe, mate, Johnny and Pete, the boys who keep me caffeinated every bloody morning, just a short walk from my place. Amazing coffee, amazing people. If you're in Sydney, in and around Dolls Point, Ramsgate area and Sandringham, mate, Sobe is the place to get your coffee, and there's heaps of Greeks too.
Yeah, they are. And how good's Johnny? Does he ever have a day off?
No, he doesn't.
He's there 7 days a week, for the last 5 years or since they've opened?
Easter Sunday, he was there, mate.
He was unbelievable.
That's commitment. Discipline.
Absolutely.
Discipline, definitely. Yeah. And he's just consistent.
Yeah.
He's always
same
smiling.
every time I've been there. He's always there. He's always smiling. Always that same, loving his job, that attitude. And that's what attracts, people to come to his great shop.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely. So we might have to find him a wife. It's the only way we can get him out of there.
Well, we were supposed to go to the Josephine concert altogether. They actually sponsored the DJ Crazy Con's event.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't come.
He was working
because he's like, mate, I've got to wake up early tomorrow and make coffees. He's committed.
If there's any ladies out there, go out to Sobe Cafe. Where is it? Dolls Point.
Is it Sandringham?
Sandringham.
Sandringham
there? Yeah, Sandringham, Dolls Point.
Yeah, just
a short walk from my place, Sobe Cafe. Thank you, guys.
Check it out. Awesome.
Anyway, back to the episode, mate. What were you asking before?
We talked about your fighting spirit and your courageousness. We know that comes from your background, and most of us know about it. But can you dabble a little bit into where your ancestors come from, where your dad or your grandparents were born?
Yeah, look, I'm very proud of my Greek heritage. Obviously, I'm born here in Australia, but everyone knows the heritage, the Spartans. That's where my family's from. That's where the generation has come from. And I've always believed that my bloodlines comes from, the Spartan kings himself.
So your papa was born in Laconia?
No, my grandmother.
Your grandmother?
My grandmother, yeah. So,
do you know the town or the village by any chance?
They were in Stupa. Obviously, prior to that, their grandparents and were in Sparta themselves. So they migrated closer to Stupa to be closer to the sea, obviously the ocean and the sea. It's better for them. So, the ancestors there is with me, and every bit that I fight, I feel that power from the Spartans. But it was never always like that. I didn't know too much about my history and the descendants and where my family's from. I was a very shy kid. I was a very overweight kid as a young kid. Sure. So once I fell into boxing, to help my weight from rugby league, to help lose some weight and progress in football, that's where I started to fall in love with fighting. And when there's fighting, warriors fighting, the Spartans fighting, any kind of one-on-one combat. And I started to fall in love with that. All of that became my homework. Instead of being at school doing homework, my focus was, on that.
So it was a natural attraction. You didn't know why, but you liked reading.
Yeah, it was an attraction. It was a natural attraction where, I just fell in love with that, and that's where, I started to put myself, this whole Ferocious Kambosos as my career progressed, as the amateurs progressed.
Yeah.
As I learned more and more about, our great warriors, that one-on-one combat, I just formed this person who I am today.
How were you introduced to that history? Did your parents play a role in saying, this is our history, read up on the Spartans, or you saw documentaries? How was it introduced to you?
As a young kid, you don't understand it. You don't really, I could tell my boys stuff, and, even my son, his name's Leonidas, and when I tell him, he doesn't understand, how important his name is and what it means. So you don't get it. He will eventually, but you don't get it at the start. But as you progress in your life, you start to understand more and more things. That's where it starts to play a role, in who you are. So my father and would tell me, my grandparents would tell me, and how important that, descendants and who we are, the fighting spirit, but not only the Spartans, but as Greeks, we have that fighting spirit. For some reason, I always feel that, no matter what situation we are, as Greek people, we'll be able to get through it. We've got that fighting mentality, never quit mentality. So,
100%.
I built that in a young age, and thankfully, as my boxing career progressed, I was able to take that with me.
And we talk about this all the time. Greeks being underdogs, especially through
We never
ancient
had the
times.
numbers.
Never.
Ever.
And all the battles we've won, we used to rattle them off in our conversations up and down Brighton, like Salamis,
Thermopylae
Plataea, Thermopylae, Marathon. Always been outnumbered, and somehow we always come out on top. Even if we lose, we win.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the willpower. Willpower
like
to
Thermopylae, right? There's only 300 of them, whatever it was.
Yep.
Yes, they lost, but they won. People still talk about them today.
In that respect, it's a little bit similar to the Anzac spirit as well, and the Australian side of us. It's a comprehensive loss.
Yeah.
But we talk about it as though it is...
It's like a
the
moral victory.
Yeah, exactly. Very close similarities to those those two. What about your current connection to Greece? Do you go back at all? Have you been able to go back with family or anything like that?
I got the opportunity to fight there in 2019. So that was my first time ever going to Greece. First time obviously fighting in Greece. It was amazing seeing the fans in Athens. Seeing the fans come out, and obviously my name wasn't as big at that stage as well. So seeing the close ties I had with the people and how much they were supporting me and behind me at that stage was amazing. I've always still want to go back there again, obviously to fight. I'd love to have one more big fight now that my name has grown so much. But
amazing.
I've been wanting to go there for a holiday as well with my kids and family. I've obviously been very busy with my career.
Yep.
We were talking about doing it this year, but obviously I'm going to be fighting around that period. So, we're just going to have to hold it off. And Greece isn't going anywhere, but my career obviously at the moment is most important.
In terms of that connection, we obviously see that every time you come out and there's an Australian flag, there's a Greek flag. I can't really think of many other professional athletes who have that sort of, I don't want to call it a split allegiance, but revere and honor their cultural background. Why do you feel you need to do that? Every time we see it, it's chills. But what's the story for you?
Yeah, for me, it gives me motivation, inspires me that I'm going into battle. This is fighting. This is one-on-one combat. I'm going in there to do as much damage to the opponent while he's doing the same thing to me. We go back to that Lopez fight. We're trying to kill each other. Same in the Haney fight. Trying to land as much as we can and totally destroy, somebody. So for me, it inspires me, motivates me knowing that I've got two countries on my shoulders. They're with me, they're behind me now. If we go back to when people go to war for their country, they're inspired by their country. They love their country. So that's the way I feel. And again, it connects with the people, it connects with everyone in Australia, it connects with everyone in Greece. Yeah. When you see that flag, when I'm, watching, sport and I see a Greek flag or I see an Australian flag, all of a sudden I'm connected to that person. It's okay. Who is this? I want to learn more about them. Why are they representing us? How do they act while they're representing us? So I've always felt that's extremely important to not only inspire younger generations, but to have the support of the country and to give as much honour to both nations.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. You remember, there was a clip, I remember, it was last year at the Australian Open, where you were at Australian Open tennis and you went for a walk and then all of a sudden you just got mobbed and they were singing Ferocious, Kambosos, and I read commentary, I can't remember who, I might have read it or someone spoke of it and they said, George should have security there, it's not good what he's doing. You just turn around and say, mate, they're my people.
That's right.
Okay, they're one of us. That doesn't happen with our community.
It was amazing. We were obviously there to do some business meetings leading into the fight, and we said, okay, we'll go to the tennis. Actually, it's a funny story because we got a connection with. He was playing. Tsitsipas was playing the Italian Sinner, so we actually got a relationship with Sinner's management. So they reached out and said, look, he's playing Tsitsipas. We want you to come to the game. You're going to be in Melbourne. I said, okay, we'll come to the game. So my old man was working it all out.
So were you in Sinner's camp? Were you behind?
Yes. So my dad goes, look, we're going to tennis. We're going to be in Melbourne. I go, oh, awesome. It's going to be great. The Greeks. It's going to be awesome. And he goes, but we're going to be sitting with Sinner's team.
Yeah.
I go, I can't do that. I go, they're going to think I'm a traitor. Like I'm full, committed to to our country.
Yeah.
He goes, they're good seats, let's just go. My old man, it's a little bit different. All right. So it actually worked out good because the way I'm sitting, it's like right in front of Sinner's coaches.
Yeah.
And I got my glasses, I'm like that. So it's like people started thinking, Kambosos is there, he's trying to intimidate. He's psyching him up. Anyway, Tsitsipas, smashed him. And then once throughout the game, people realised I was there.
Yeah.
Because the big screen kept going over to Sinner's team. Yeah. So they kept interrupting the game because they started chanting Kambosos, Ferocious Kambosos.
Yeah. What, in the stadium?
In the game.
Oh, you kidding?
So as soon as Tsitsipas finished, they forgot about him.
Yeah.
Poor guy's doing his interview.
Yeah.
And literally the whole crowd is screaming Kambosos and they're all running up to me.
Yeah.
So it was nuts. Obviously the footage was incredible. And as soon as, I went up the steps, it was mayhem.
Mobbed.
And then a few security guards came down. They're like, please guys, just take this outside. Because you totally wrecking the Tsitsipas interview. Yeah. And they didn't care about him. They just, were pumped that I was there.
It's a different
because I don't make many, you don't see me all the time around. I'm always trying, in the training, I'm always, hidden. So when I do pop out, especially after, winning all the belts, it's pretty incredible for the Greek people. And I think right then and there, I knew that the fight had to go to Melbourne, at that time. It's incredible.
And that's what I was going to say. It's a different breed down there in Melbourne, particularly with the Greek community, isn't it, compared to what it's like in Sydney. I mean, we're obviously very proud of you here, but when it comes to sport and when it comes to supporting Greeks, Melbourne really is the right place to be.
Yeah, they really, look,
they're another level.
I love to fight in Sydney and I will fight in Sydney with the whole situation. Obviously, the Greeks there, the fanatics there.
It was smart.
They're 110% behind, their athletes, and they will come out in numbers. Now, when you're doing a stadium fight, numbers are the most important thing. Yep. So it worked well. But again, it worked well because Marvel Stadium, I don't know if you remember that actual day, it was raining. And it was a cold, miserable day. I was actually freezing walking from the dressing room to the ring. That's how cold it was that day. If you'd done that in Sydney, there's no closed roof, stadium. And I've even spoken to government officials and a few people that, it's like, what are we doing? We built this beautiful stadium. We're going to roof.
Great point.
You're taking away big opportunities.
Don't get us started.
Look, Marvel Stadium was the place. It was a big stadium. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And obviously closed roof, so everyone was comfortable.
Well, let me ask you, Nick, what was that like? Because I wasn't at that fight. From a spectator's perspective, being in there, what was the feel like?
Look, even before we got there, the atmosphere was outside. So we're walking around the streets, everyone's cheering, everyone had Greek flags everywhere.
There was a march as well, wasn't there?
There was. I saw marching through, they were singing their chants and stuff. It's hard to explain. It was just, it was like the Euro 2004 when they won. It was a bit like that. And when we got in the stadium, same thing. Everyone was cheering even before the fight had started. We actually sat in our seats like, you know what? I'm not sitting here. Let's just get up. So we did laps. So we walked around and there's little pockets of people, and we recognised, so many people because every Greek community, we're all connected.
Even everyone from Sydney was, people still tell me to this day that, man, we went there and it was like everyone in Sydney was there.
Correct.
It's actually a cool fact that 23,000 people flew from interstate. So a lot of them would have been, from Sydney, flew to Melbourne. Wow. So it was incredible. Not only obviously the Melbourne, people got behind it, but so many people interstate and obviously mainly Sydney flew to the fight.
No, it was like all my cousins were there. We talked about John Vellis and Leo Vellis was there. Peter Cash, my boys were there. So there's a good dozen of us. And we went to the casino afterwards. It was a good night. It was such a good event, good excuse to get out of Sydney and support you and just be amongst it all. It was like, probably the analogy would be as like the Euro 2004 here at Brighton.
That's what it looked like, and that was something I was at, and just looking at all the footage on Nine and on all the TV stations.
But it was so loud. Oh my God, in there. Some areas were unbelievable, just chanting.
Yeah, the atmosphere was incredible.
And who's who? There's a lot of celebrities
there.
There
was a lot of celebrities, a lot of, the who's were all there. So
it's like a Las Vegas event.
It was. And it doesn't happen very often to that extent. Stadium fights.
In this country.
It doesn't happen. The last big stadium fight was Pacquiao, Jeff Horn. I'm talking Manny Pacquiao. He's been around for 20 years. He's a global icon by that stage. I was able to do a stadium fight. George Kambosos from Sydney.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. So speaking of stadiums, so you fought at Madison Square Garden where, the great Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, a couple other legends have fought there. What was that like?
It was amazing. I've been very fortunate to fight Madison Square Garden twice. I fought Mickey Bay there in 2019, and obviously I got to win my undisputed championship against Teofimo Lopez, the local, Brooklyn boy who, just beat Vasily Lomachenko, who was on top of the boxing world, the biggest name in American boxing. He was knocking everyone out.
He was unbeatable.
Unbeatable at that stage. This was just supposed to be, a fight that was just in the way of him making bigger fights. Yeah. But I had different thoughts for that fight, and I knew what I was going to do. And I knew Styles make fights. A lot of people don't understand that Styles make fights. Me and him duel. Unbelievable for a great fight.
So what style have you got? How would you describe your
style?
Look,
I feel that I'm an aggressive, counter-puncher boxer where I can box, but I love to bring the heat. I love to bring, that counter-punching. As soon as they throw a shot, I'm very quick off the mark to be able to throw 3, 4, 5, punch combination, but also break them down. So styles make fights in boxing. People have to understand that sometimes a certain style won't gel as good as you think it would be. Same as me and Devin Haney. In that first fight, the styles really, were a little bit difficult and a little bit, further away, where he had that more boxing, running kind of style.
Because he would just jab and move.
He just jab, move. Now I felt like, obviously, as much as what I felt in that fight, put on a lot of good pressure, landed some good shots, but he just boxed well with that jab, move, held. I had to do what he had to do. But in the second fight, different story. He kind of brought the heat. I brought the heat, and we both exchanged big shots. Yeah. He just had that little bit extra edge on me. So
yeah, definitely. So look back to the Lopez fight. So it took a while to get off the ground, didn't it?
It did. It took nearly pretty much the whole year until November 27th, November 28th here. Was just constant. We were there. Then he got COVID. We had to come back home. We had, I think, 5, 6 different dates. The original promoter fell out. Matchroom picks it up. This is the exact date. They said no more stuffing around. My grandfather passed away. I had a baby in between. We're in the midst of COVID. We're doing quarantines. It was crazy. But I stayed relentless to, my training, to my grind. And I said, even when I won the belts, I said, look, this could have taken another 2 years. Just same routine. Postpone, keep going. I was just in that mindset where tunnel vision, nothing was going to stop me. That war of attrition.
So that blew me away too. You didn't lose focus at all.
I never lost focus.
All the crap that was coming your way, well, not crap, all the adversity that came your way, you just stayed focused like it was just another day.
I just stayed focused. Even with my grandfather passing away, I never had the chance to, really, soak that in and realize what had happened. I just said, I got to fight to win. I know that this fight and this win could totally change, the outcome of not only my life, my kids' life, my kids' life, Australia, Greece, what I manifested to do with stadium fights and everything. I just knew how important this was. So I was never going to take my foot off the pedal, regardless of what was happening.
It's the discipline that blows me away.
It's discipline. Same. The discipline and dedication to the sport is full at 110%.
And so you ended up going back. So what was the build up like?
We hated each other. We still hate each other.
Really?
There's still bad blood.
That's what I was going to
between
ask
each
you.
other.
Yeah.
There is no.
Sometimes it's sort of done.
Sometimes they overdo it, but me and him really did not like each other. His dad and my dad did not like each other. Obviously, my dad grabbed him by the throat, and thank God he didn't crack him, because then that hole would have stuffed the whole fight up.
It wasn't the weigh-in, was it?
It was at the media workout. They had just done
right.
their media workout. We were coming and do ours, and then he started carrying on his dad and
Mate,
come
big
to our
Jim.
side. And you know, my old man's a Marrickville boy. You know, he ain't gonna take a step backwards. Just like I'm not gonna take a step backwards. And you know, what kind of dad would he be if he just sat there and let this other, you know, loudmouth, you know, Brooklyn, you know, guy,
And he would have dropped it.
just sitting there talking and screaming at his son. So he didn't realise as he walked across to try to have a go at me, he ran into the Rottweiler. Jim Kambosos grabbed him by the throat, pushed him, and I think after that, it really put a psychological edge on for us, but also a downfall for them, where they thought, oh shit, these guys, they're not just here for a payday, they're not just here to make up numbers, we're here to win. And I think I was so pumped up, I was screaming, we run New York now, we're here, we're taking over. So we just had good fun with it.
How awesome was it watching that? I mean, you couldn't
Well, it was
believe
everywhere.
it.
Like it was funny because once it all happened, it was everywhere here, like social media, Channel 7, Fox still, Jim Kambosos, you know, ragdolling Tifu Malapa Senior. So my dad was getting messages from America, from Australia to America. Oh, I'm on Channel 7 today.
Classic.
So we started, Jim, relax, you're getting the big head, you're a big celebrity now.
I think I even heard that they wanted Jim in the ring with
they were saying, oh, they could do like a fight between
Undercard.
Jim Kambosos and Tifu Malapa's Senior. And my old man's, you know, old school Greek. There's no worry, as long as they pay me well, I'll do it.
Everyone's got their price.
Everyone's got their price. I'll do it. Throw me some good money and let's do it.
We're watching it on our phones going, crack him, Jim.
Oh, it's
Come on,
incredible,
mate.
it was the best.
It was. I mean, the theatre around that fight really fired the Greek community up around
It did,
here, which
it
I
was-
think made the success at the end of it all sweeter. Talk us through actually winning that fight, you know, and going through that grind. What was going through your mind during
You
that
can
fight?
see when I walk out, my eyes, how zoned in and focused I am. I was never... As soon as I walked out, you could tell I'm coming to win this fight. My mindset was whatever it takes in this fight, whatever it takes. If this guy kills me tonight, you know, it is what it is. You know, this is a fight. And again, I was coming up against the most feared puncher in the game at that stage. He can punch, but, you know I can take a shot too.
The bookie odds had you
13-1,
13
It's
to
massive. I know a lot of people wanted a lot of money. You know, when I got back after the fight, I had so many people keep coming up to me saying, you've made the best Christmas for me. I made this much on you. I made that much on you. I know guys that made like 6 figures on
Jesus.
betting, big money. But yeah, my mindset for that fight was, as long as this preparation has taken, that war of attrition is going to be the same thing in the fight, a war of attrition. You know, he might take a little bit, you know, give me some shots, but I'm just going to keep grinding through it and beat this guy, whatever it takes. I just knew that round by round, we were going to beat him, break him down. Obviously, round 1, I was able to, you know, knock him down. Round 10, he was able to knock me down. So, you know, round 11 and 12, I came back like a true warrior, a true Spartan. And said, no, I'm winning this fight. I'm taking these belts back home.
Mate, that overhand right in the first round when he dropped him.
It's beautiful, I
think I said to you before we started, we're at my cousin's house. We all erupted. We all stood up, cheered, and you can see it in his face. He looked like...
he realised,
he goes, fuck.
this is not part of the plan. This is not meant to happen.
I thought you said this guy was an easy beat.
You know, so, and I was talking to him the whole fight, like just landing shots, laughing at him, literally after every round, because he always thought one round he's gonna knock me out.
So that was one of my questions actually. So what do you talk about in the ring when you're fighting? So what do you say to each other? So
I'm always very composed when it comes to not making one bit of like a poker face. That's always been me. But with this guy, there was just so much, you know, anger and animosity towards each other that, and plus he had these big, you know, 1 round he's going to knock me out, 3 rounds he's going to knock me out, all these different, you know, scenarios.
Was he saying that? Or was that what you were?
No, he wasn't saying anything. I was the one that was so pumped up that when I'm hitting him and beating him up every single round, I kept saying, hey, 1 round, oh, 1 round. So I just kept talking to him, which is out of character for me. I'm very
but that would mess with his head.
But it was messing with his head. I know that it was playing with him, and I know mentally he was nowhere near what I am. So it really broke him down.
Because it's a massive play. You know, you talk about 100%. Sledging on the footy field and so forth. It's part of the game.
Well, you're getting beaten up. You're copping shots. You know, you're in front of your own crowd, and then all of a sudden, you got the guy talking back at you and laughing at you and saying these certain things, that breaks you down.
So we talked about the Greek community in New York. It's how relevant. So tell us, so even before the fight, were they there with you? Did you manage to meet some of the locals there?
Yeah, we did. We met a few locals. We met a few people that actually had come in from Canada as well. So Canada has a very big Greek population as well, which is incredible. We had a few fans come out, spend some time with us. And, it was amazing to be in another country and still have, the support. So when we go back to, our history and the Greeks, no matter where we are in the world, I feel like you'll find a Greek. You'll find someone and once you do find a Greek, you feel like you've known them forever. You feel like there's so much in common.
We talk
I
about
don't know
it
what other countries have that kind of connection, but we definitely do. So once they know that they're supporting, there's a Greek there doing something, they're going to support.
That's why we're able
to do that. Yeah, that's why we're able to do that in a big stadium. When people realise, okay, who's this Greek Australian?
Yeah.
We want to support him. We want to get behind him. We want to be part of his journey.
Again, we're watching the fight. We're talking about you're winning. We thought you had this wrapped up. We thought, we know what boxing's like. There's a lot of controversy. I go, what's the bet? There's going to be some controversy here. That's what we're thinking. How did you feel? Did you feel like there was going to be a bit of controversy? Was in his home crowd? Because we thought you'd done enough.
Yeah,
right?
I definitely done enough. When I went back and watched the fight, it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
I had it like 9 rounds to 3. But again, you're in another fighter's country. He was a big name. They had really big money fights. In play against the other Americans for Lopez. You always got to think, okay, what could happen here? But my mindset, I knew what I did in that fight. I knew that I was winning that fight, no matter what. We're not going to take it away.
Yeah. Does your team have things in place? How do you prevent that? Do you get to pick the judges?
Yeah. So when the judges get assigned, we went through them. I made sure that none of the judges had judged him before.
Right.
I made sure that how are these guys judging other fights? So you got to study. You got to be able to look at the judges. And I'll go back to one of the other fights and I'll say, okay, this American judge judged an American fight against an international, and he had, I watch the fight and I'll score it myself and say, okay, he was on the money. He had it right.
Yeah, right.
I'll do the same with the other guy, and same old man will do the same thing, and the team does the same thing. So it's like I said, it's not just two guys getting in a ring and fighting. Now, if we were a little bit whatever, I'm sure it'd be fine. Then maybe there were some corrupt judges there where no, we're going to make sure he wins.
Very interesting.
You've got to make sure that you do everything right.
Yeah.
Again, sport and boxing is only a short period, so you might as well make sure everything is at 110% before you get out.
Definitely. So with judges as well, they don't sit together. They're on different.
They're on different sections of the ring, so that's why you get sometimes different scoring, because they're seeing the fight a little bit different from different angles. Sometimes a shot, if I'm sitting in this position, I won't be able to see a certain shot because maybe the opponent's got his back towards the fighter. But maybe that side they can see it better, so they think, okay, he's landing better shots. So that's why you get a little bit sometimes different scoring. But most of the time they got to be usually on the mark.
Yeah,
they got to be there.
Do you have that in your mind? So these judges are in this corner. I'm going to try and box my corner, my opponent into this corner.
No, not really. I always just
you don't think about that.
I know we've done our right work leading up to the fight.
Yeah. With
the judges, I know we've made sure that there's no funny business, and I know that I've put enough work in my preparation to not worry about that, to just be focused on the fighting. Now, if you're going to start worrying about all the outside, the judges, the referee, the fans, the crowd,
that's Jim's job, isn't it?
All of a sudden, that's my dad's job, who manages everything for me. But again, it's my job is to focus on my training and what I do in the ring, and let everything on the outside,
I could imagine
be what it is.
Yeah,
and it's the same with anything in life. You got to just learn to just focus on what you're doing, and any outside noise that's not needed, it's just negative energy.
You can't control.
You can't control.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You focus on what you can control, and everything usually works out the way it's meant to be.
Definitely. Wow. All right. So the fight's over. What's going on in your head? You think, I've got this?
I knew that.
Did you go in the corner? What was your dad saying to you?
I jumped on the ropes. I was, screaming at the fans, saying, I'm the champion. I'm the champ. Eddie Hearn, obviously, who was promoting it, he literally nodded and said, "No, you've won the fight." Really? Not by saying like he knew the judges. He just knew from watching the fight. You've won the fight. What everyone else was thinking. His fans knew. My promoter, Lou DeBella, knew. We knew we had won the fight. So as soon as they read the scorecards out, and then again, you had one judge giving the split decision.
Yeah.
Gave it to him.
Yeah.
So,
Saw that.
so again, that could have been a little bit funny business there, but they raised my hand and you undisputed. So
Was there any banter and talk in the ring just before you got together? What was?
yeah, we did. We did have a little. There's some cool photos where like literally we're holding hands.
Yeah.
And literally like we're talking to each other.
Yeah.
And he was just, I felt he was concussed. I felt that he was not right from the punishment he took. And he, for some reason, thinks that I had a go at his family throughout the preparation, throughout the build-up. He thought that I abused his mum or something. I don't know. There was just certain things where he just, mentally
because he didn't make sense. I remember even his
he said 13 rounds. He goes, I won the fight, whatever he said, 11-2.
Yeah.
That's 13 rounds. We don't fight 13 rounds. Look, I think the shots that I landed on him were big shots. I think from round one when I hit him with that shot, really, really hurt him. And he was in hospital for a long time. He was in hospital for like 5-6 days.
Was he really?
After the fight. That's how badly beaten he was. I was too. I went, but not for that long. Only 3-4 hours. I went there just for precautionary checks. Yeah, most of the time, big fight like that, they have to. I got some stitches in the eye, and I was out. To enjoy the victory.
Well, you definitely look prettier.
He was battered pretty bad. Yeah. He was not well.
So you're there. He grabbed your hand. When you heard your name, what was the first thing? How did you feel? Was it the best feeling in the world?
Yeah, pure happiness,
euphoric.
Something, euphoric where.
Like you felt like you won.
It's something I knew that I won, but until it's official and the whole world knows that he's got it, you're the new world champion. It's an amazing feeling. Now, from a young kid, 12, 13, 5. It was actually 5. 5. The WBC franchise, the WBA super title, the WBO, the IBF, and the Ring magazine. So it was amazing. It's hard to hold them all.
Yeah.
When you work so hard throughout your whole childhood, your whole life, everything you do is just. You got that end goal. You got your little goals, but you got that end goal. I want to be world champion. I have to be world champion.
So
when it happens,
your dreams came true in one hit.
And then there was obviously a massive commotion. Like just everyone wants to be there, and the media, and it's just nuts.
Yeah.
And the only time it really sunk in is when we sat in the back of the ambulance, me, my dad, and my wife, and they closed the door and just went quiet. And my old man, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Wow.
It was amazing. Then we obviously went to the hospital. It's funny. You go to the hospital, you're the undisputed champion of the world, but you got to wait. And we were waiting for like 3 hours. We had a waiting time. We had to wait because people coming in, cut hands,
holy shit,
all types, overdoses. You're in a hospital in New York. People getting shot. You don't know what's happening. They kept delaying us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on! I just won the belts. Please give me some.
I want an Uzo.
Put me on the top of the list. But no, it doesn't work like that. So I think that straight away you get a humble.
Well, it's probably a good sign because
it's
you
a good
critical.
sign.
It wasn't critical. You needed to see.
No,
in my mind, it's like that scene from Rocky 2 in the the.
It was. It really was. The only thing we didn't bump into each other.
Yeah.
My wife did. My wife went to
really?
get some Gatorade for me.
Yeah.
I was feeling a little bit dehydrated, so she went to get some Gatorade, and that's when she saw Lopez because Lopez is here with his mum.
Yeah.
So not even the dad, this is the kind of person he is, was there with his son. Me, I had my wife and my dad with me.
Yeah.
He's battling really bad, just lost his belts. His dad wasn't anywhere to be seen.
Wow.
So the rumor is that dad went back to the hotel, trashed the hotel, started drinking, got on doing stupid interviews, talking about how he got robbed and how this is a big setup by the boxing world to get rid of his son. So
you feel sorry for his son when you hear stories.
You
like
do.
that.
You actually do. I actually kind of feel sorry for Lopez to a point. But hey, that's the fight game, and that's his problem. And at that stage, I was a new world champion.
Did your wife talk to Lopez?
She just went up to him and said, "Look, hope you guys are okay, and hope you're safe." And that's it.
Actually, what did you say to Lopez after the fight when you'd won? I think you guys went to the side and had a chat, I think.
In the ring when he was carrying on, I said, mate, you're delusional, and
that's right.
If you want to do it in Australia. I offered him a rematch straight away if you want to do it.
And he didn't want it.
Come back to Australia. I knew that kind of fight here in the stadium would be massive as well.
Yeah,
sure.
No, he didn't want nothing to do with it. So
he backed down. He didn't want to.
I think after a beating like that, there was.
Yeah.
If that was me in his shoes, I wouldn't want to step back in there with this guy.
Yeah. So what happened straight after? So hospital, you got a couple of stitches. You said.
It was hospital.
What other injuries would you have had? Like bruised ribs or anything?
No, nothing like that. Just obviously
facial.
really sore.
Yeah.
Just had the cuts on my eyes. Got that stitched up. They did an MRI scan, make sure everything's all good.
No
Everything was
brain bleed or
fine. No,
anything?
everything was good.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Got out of there 3-4 hours later.
And
I was
then?
starving. Went straight back to the hotel. Had a bit of my family there. They were there.
Yep.
My grandfather was there. My mum's dad. My uncle was there. So we just, got to just have some, some food. There's a little like restaurant next door.
Yep.
It's
What a
like
feeling.
3 in the morning,
Yeah.
4 in the morning.
You're kidding.
Had
4 in
some
the morning.
burgers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. No drinks, no alcohols, no massive celebration.
Yep.
I went back upstairs, showered. Had all the belts there. I was, kept rubbing my eyes to say this is real.
Yeah.
What time
What a
did you get to
feeling.
bed?
That's it. I went to sleep at about 5:30 in the morning,
Yep.
and then I was back up at like 7. You can't sleep. It's just
Adrenaline.
so excited, so much adrenaline. And then I went downstairs in the morning. There was heaps of people there, heaps of media. Everyone just wanted to take photos, which was cool.
Yep.
And then literally after that, I was down in the media room at the hotel for about 6-7 hours straight, doing media work all over the world, in front of a laptop.
How did you have the
Interviews were
energy?
coming in.
How did you have the
I
energy?
did that for literally 3 days straight in that room, constantly, so much media. Then from there, we flew to Miami. We done heaps of media work there. Went to the basketball. I knocked at the mascot. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
There was so much things going on. Then from there, I flew to Las Vegas. I went to watch Stephen Haney, Jojo Diaz, part of the commentary. Done heaps of media out there. Then from there, I flew to Los Angeles. Went to the Gervonta Davis Isaac Cruz fight. Heaps of media there. From there, I flew to Texas. Done Joe Rogan. Then I was supposed to go back to LA, do Mike Tyson podcast, but they couldn't find Mike Tyson. So I flew back home, come back home, and then literally everyone was at the airport. More media.
That was amazing.
And then finally got to come home and be with my kids and try to enjoy a little bit. But
good stuff.
straight back in the gym again. I'm
What?
crazy like that. I can't help myself. After the Devin Haney fight, same thing.
Yeah.
I was straight back in the gym.
What, like the next day
Unbelievable.
or a day? Do you have a day
2
off at least?
So the second Haney fight, 2 days after I was in the gym.
Fucking
I
hell.
couldn't help myself. Not boxing, just doing some weights.
Just
Get
loosening up.
Yeah, loosen up, get the body feeling good.
Yeah.
I love this game. I
What a
love
story.
I love sport. So for me, I just need to feel physically good. I can't just sit here and just enjoy food and sit there and be proud of my achievements. There's more to go. I can be proud in another 5-6 years when I finish up. For now, I got more work to do.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the important thing to mention. It's all well and good, talking and reminiscing about all this stuff, but we're trying to do it all again now.
That's right. Yeah.
So where are you at now in terms of your preparation, and what are your next steps towards reclaiming those belts?
We're in a great position. We're a huge name, obviously, in Australia, huge name in Greece, huge name in America. Our next fight will be in Las Vegas, in America. We're looking at end of July. And this fight against the number one from the UK, Maxi Hughes, he's got the IBO world title. So this is another world title fight. The 4 belts are the major belts. He's got a belt that's just a little bit off the major belts, but most important, it's an IBF eliminator, world title eliminator. So not only I'm going to put myself back in position for the IBF world title, I'm going to collect this IBO world title as well. So add another one to the collection and be in line again for another big fight straight after that. So, straight back up to the top. Within one fight, we're there again, which is so important. That's why I'm training so hard, because I know how much is on the line right now for my career. And if I want to be able to get to where I have been already and redo it again and create even more legacy, this fight is extremely important. That's why I'm training like I have
Well, we can
nothing.
see it.
Like I've done nothing. That's my mentality. I'm back to the start. And that's how I feel too, because, I achieved it. Then all of a sudden it was all gone. Now I'm doing it all again.
Would you have a pre-warm-up fight at all, or not?
No, straight to this guy. Yeah.
Okay.
We could have taken a little bit of an easier challenge. But I just feel that the fights that I've had, the experience that I've had, this guy will be that kind of challenge where I don't see this guy lasting in the rounds with me. I don't see this guy doing anything to me the way I feel right now. But again, we show respect to the opponent, show full respect, and I know that he's going to come with everything he has, because obviously I'm a big name, I'm a big scalp, if he can try and get it.
Is he an up-and-comer? Has he been around?
No, he's
for a
been
while?
around a long time. He's actually older than what I am. He's 33.
Oh, okay.
He looks 40.
Really?
But, he's a good fighter. He's
gonna look 50 after you beat
He's
him.
going to look 100 after I'm done with him. But, he's a good boxer. Give him respect.
Yeah.
But he's just a guy in the way of me going back to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And I've got to take him out.
But you do a lot of sparring anyway, so you got fighters here already.
I am, I'll be sparring tonight. I've got fighters here.
Are they locally based, or you bring them from overseas?
Locally based, as well as this guy I'm working with today is from Perth, so we bring guys in. But my camp's going to be in the US. Obviously, this first part of the camp is here. Then we will relocate to America, get the best sparring, best training out there. That's how I did it in the past. That's how I got to the top, by being in America, by sacrificing, and that's where I need to go back now. Like I said, I'm a big name there, and I'm looking forward to getting over there and sparring, because I got a big target on my back, former undisputed.
Definitely.
You come up against these young guys who haven't done nothing in the sport yet. They're trying to get to the top. They're trying to make money from the sport.
Want to get a name.
They want to get a scalp on their name. They want to say, hey, I
Inspired.
got it over him inspiring. They want to have that under their belt.
Yeah.
But that motivates me. That inspires me. So all right, I'll show you who the who the top dog is.
Every time you step into the ring with a sparring partner, young kid or someone who's been given an opportunity, it's every bit as important.
It's every bit important, and people realize sparring is sparring, but you're still going for it. You're still landing shots. You're still trying to hurt the opponent. You pick your time. If I hurt a young fighter, I'm not I'm not an asshole who's going to come in crazy and try to knock him out. I'll step back. I was sparring another guy recently, and I hit him with a really good body shot and hurt him really bad. And literally, he stepped back and was winded. I took a step back and said, no, get your breath, relax. Other guys might jump on him and try to knock him out to impress, inspire him, but I'm not like that. For me, I do my pressing in the ring.
Well, you got a humbleness about you. It just tells a lot about your personality.
And look, I'm always trying to help these young guys. Like I said, I've been to the top. I'm very blessed. I've made a lot from the sport. Trying to help these young guys. Trying to help certain fighters, get to the top as well, so they have that legacy.
So, how long will your campaign be in the States?
We'll probably do 7 to 8 weeks over there.
Wow.
So if the fight's in end of July, I'll get over there in June.
Beginning of June.
Yeah, beginning of June. Do a good camp. But I'm in really good shape now, as you can see. I'm in great shape. I feel very good.
Definitely.
So, just making sure that all the small bits are all done well, like we said.
Yeah. So your routine's all ready to go.
It's ready. Yeah, everything's done. The routine's done. It's just upping it a little bit more. Getting in the more rounds in sparring, get the better quality sparring partners.
And have you worked out his style, this particular guy?
Yeah, he's a southpaw. He's a southpaw. He's a guy that likes to keep his hands up. He tries to box on the back foot a little bit as well. But this style is perfectly suited for me. I like fighting southpaws because I got to do so many rounds with probably the greatest southpaw ever, Manny Pacquiao. So,
I forgot to talk
for me,
about
this
him.
is second nature fighting a southpaw, and he'll find out the hard way.
Yeah.
Well, what is it like fighting someone with such a reputation and such history for you personally?
Pacquiao, it's amazing. The guy is a legend, all-time great. So spending them years with him, sparring him, being with him, running, training, the whole lot. It's a great apprenticeship for your career. I wasn't a world champion at that stage. I was just on my grind, a prospect, a contender. So that's your apprenticeship. That's where you learn. And I got the best apprenticeship you can get. With a guy like that.
Absolutely.
So it was amazing.
Well, let me ask an important question, because we've seen when you're getting strapped up in the dressing rooms, there's an important playlist. So there's some important music playing. What's on the playlist for the upcoming fight? We're hearing lots of Bujukia in the dressing room in the lead up.
It depends how I feel. Like, for the Lopez fight and the first Haney fight, we had the Greek music, the playlist. I got a new phone, so I need to do all the new playlists and stuff. But we'll see. Probably be some Greek music, some up, beat music, pump you up for the fight.
Are there any particular songs? Because I did hear one on YouTube. I think your dad commented.
Was it Sfakianaki at one point?
Imelinas or something?
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Yeah, that song. I actually was, honoured to walk out to that song when I fought in Greece, and the Greeks, you had people crying. The Greeks are that emotional.
It's emotional. Song.
They were actually crying watching me walk out with that song playing. So
I'm
it was
getting
amazing. But even in the last fight, we had the amazing singer, Vertis was able to sing the Greek anthem.
Yeah, that was amazing.
He's a superstar. In Greece and obviously in Greek music. So to be able to have him singing the anthem, was incredible.
Well, let's go back to the beginning for a bit. In terms of, you mentioned the fact that you were an overweight kid, and my understanding is you went and started playing rugby league. Was it your dad's choice to say, look, boxing is going to be the thing that's going to help give you a little bit of an edge, all in pursuit of a rugby league career? Is that the way that it was sort of going?
No, not really. It was obviously rugby league was first. My dad said, look, you're putting on too much weight. in the off season. You're doing 6 months of footy. You're getting, fit, and then you're doing 6 months of nothing. And you're eating, and you're going to your grandparents, and they're feeding you, and you're stacking on weight naturally. So he goes, look, we're not too far from the beach. Do you want to do some nippers? I said, what's that? I didn't even know what that was at the start.
It's not really a Greek thing,
nippers,
is it?
Yeah. And
I don't know.
Well, for your kids, they are.
I said, no chance. I go, I'm not going to do nippers. I go, you're not going to see this big Greek kid, with fat everywhere running down the beach. Ain't going to happen.
Yep.
He goes, what about boxing? He goes, the local Rockdale PCY said they got a boxing program there. What about that? He goes, do you like the Rocky movies? I go, yeah, that sounds cool. I go, yeah, let's do that. I was only 11 years of age. I'll try it out.
Yep.
As soon as I went there, just fell in love with it. A year and a half on, lost so much weight. At that stage, I was literally 60-something kilos.
Yeah,
I fight at 61 now. So I got down to like 44 kilos. My rugby league career got better. Got picked for the Sharks development squad. Started having amateur fights. Got picked for the New South Wales team. So everything just got better and better from losing weight, from boxing, from building that confidence. School got better.
Yep.
Life just got better in general.
Wow. And at what point did you think, okay, this rugby league thing, don't worry about it. It's boxing now.
When I got picked for the Sharks development squad, that's when, as a young kid, I always wanted to be a rugby league player. I wanted to play for New South Wales and Australia, and that was my full focus, to be a Roosters player, as a Roosters fan.
We won't hold that against you.
Don't hold it against me, but when I got picked for the Sharks development squad, they told us the dates of training, the days. Ricky Stewart was there. He was the Sharks coach at that time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is rugby league training. My old man's very smart. He's very good at what he does. So when we got in the car, straight away, he knew the days were going to clash. So it's like, how good, you're playing playing for the Sharks development squad. You're playing on the weekends, and you'll be training Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I go, didn't you hear? I go, the days? He goes, nah, playing dumb. He goes, I go, they clash with boxing. He goes, what are you going to do? He goes, I don't know. He goes, remember I kept telling you about the crossroads? So I literally would come, going back. I'd fight on a Friday night, then I'd have to play footy on a Saturday.
Yeah.
He kept saying the crossroads. I wasn't getting it at that stage, too young to understand it, but it came to that point in the car where he goes, crossroads. And I got it. I go, I know what it is. I go, I know what the crossroads is. I go, I can't do both. I go, I got to put my full energy into one. He goes, look, I'll give you the whole weekend. It was a Friday.
Yep.
He goes, I'll give you the whole weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, when I come back from working my 9-10 hour days as an electrician, Sparky was working back then, you have your bag ready. Which bag? Your boxing bag or your rugby league bag? So he goes, it's your decision. You don't go speak to anyone else. He goes, we're not making a decision for you. It's your decision, because I don't want to sit back in the future and say, I should have done this. You told me to do that. Yeah, come Monday, my heart was in boxing. My heart was all for being a fighter.
Wow.
So, when he got home, I had the bag there. He goes, what bag? I go, boxing bag. He goes, all right, let's go. So he took me to the boxing gym. We had the other bag there with all the representative clothes, all the training gear. He took that bag back to the coach for the development squad.
Yeah.
And the coach couldn't believe it. He goes, where's George? What are you bringing the bag for? He goes, no, he's going to be a fighter. He goes, you're so talented. He could be a footy player. He goes, no, he wants to be a fighter. It's his choice. That's it. Never look back.
Unbelievable.
Put everything into boxing, and just knew that from that day that whatever it took, I was going to be world champion.
What a lesson for people listening as well, especially, with, younger kids. I mean, it's important for me as my son plays a lot of different sports. Yep. At some point, it is going to be a case of you've got to pick one and devote all your energy to it. And how important is devoting all your energy to one thing?
It's extremely important. Like, you can be good at a lot of things, that's fine, but you want to be a master at one thing, you got to put everything into that one thing. It was not possible for me to be able to play rugby league and train and then go into another physical sport of boxing and be fighting, getting smashed on the weekend, getting tackled, getting hit in the head. It's just too hard. So literally we just put everything into boxing. I said, whatever it takes, I'll be champion of the world one day.
Wow.
And
how old were you?
I was roughly at that stage about 13.
So
13 years old, 13 and a half, around there.
That's about right.
Sharks development squad, maybe even 14 at that stage.
Okay.
And just, never looked back.
Yeah.
What position were you at that point?
When I was overweight, I played as a front rower.
Wow.
Then when I lost all the weight, I went into the lock position. Then literally that wasn't working out because I'd become too small.
Yep.
Put me into hooker position. They were saying, "I will get you on the wing," but my old man said, "No, I can't have my son on the wing because he's got to be in the, as a ball player, he's got to be around the ruck."
Yeah. Well, I would have said hooker.
I went as a hooker.
build.
Yeah, so, done really well.
Yeah.
Made the shots on the squad.
Yep.
But like I said, when your heart's in something else, no matter what, it's going to attract to that. You can't help it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then you ended up going to St George Police PCYC. You said.
Went there and
Because actually, I used to train there. And
Oh,
I used
really?
to see you. I used to go in early. It was like it was only once a week. I used to go. It was like a class. Do the classes. And I'd go early because I would see Tim Zoo there. So I used to follow his dad's career. But then I'd see this other little kid there too, which was you.
Yeah.
I go, mate, who's this guy? And I didn't know who you were. Yeah. And you definitely stood out at that young age. And I'd go early on the bike and I'd look at all these young kids boxing.
And you can see straight away.
Definitely.
You're the standout, the kid who's, there's something there. You see it all the time. There's just a spark there. Now, if you get the right people around him, you can take him to the top.
Yeah.
And it's got to be in the kid as well. For me, it was there. I had given up my rugby league career to chase boxing. How could I give anything less than 110% to boxing when I've just but given, rugby league to the side. So, I always just kept pushing hard, no matter what it was, training sessions, whatever adversities, whatever came my way. I just kept working hard, and I knew that ultimately I'd get to where I need to be.
Is there a big boxing community in Sydney? Like, do you and Tim Zoo catch up? Do you talk? Or
Nah, we don't. Yeah, there's no relationship there. But look, it's grown. The boxing in Australia has gone pretty big. You got to think, I'm not on TV every single day. I'm not doing media work every single day, but I still got 500,000 followers on social media and a massive Facebook social media and all this fans and support. Now you got these rugby league players that are on TV every single day, and they don't have nowhere near that. So it is big. It's grown, and look what we were able to do in a stadium fight.
Well, it has to be said that in the lead up to you taking the championship and whatnot, all these Greeks would have these conversations. It's like, why isn't the media focusing more on this bloke? We saw the rise of Jeff Horn, and before he was even champion, the media had jumped on him and all that sort of thing. Did you feel as though you were being treated fairly from the media?
No, I was never given an opportunity by the media. We reached out to the Daily Telegraph and certain other, media outlets, and we were told, no, we're not interested. So, well, why are you not interested? This is undisputed title fight, biggest fight in Australian history. At that point, why are you not interested for? They go, not fighting in Australia, it doesn't really interest us. I go,
kidding.
So we just said, okay, we're just going to keep doing our way. I want to keep doing it on my social media. The fans are going to see it. The media will come eventually one day. We'll be able to pick who we want to work with. Yeah. And it did. Eventually, when I won all the belts, they came. Yeah, I could have been a bit of an asshole and said, you know what? Nah, you're not getting to interview me, or you're not going to do this. But I said, okay, you know what? We'll just get it done. We'll just start on a clean slate. Yep. But I've always been pushed to the side with the media. What I've achieved. No fighter has ever achieved it in Australian boxing. I don't believe any other fighter will ever achieve it. I got every single belt sitting, at my house. So ultimately, the media should be behind it, should be supporting
100%.
it. But they don't.
Is there a reason why? Do you have a gut feel of why? Or?
Because I'm not aligned with anyone here in Australia.
Okay.
I'm with an American promoter. Most of my fights have been in America, and I'm not fighting here in Australia where it makes sense for them to try to promote me and. When I'm not going to fight here. But when I did fight the Haney fight, in the first fight, the media was all behind it, big time. But still, when you got a big name fighter in Australia, you should be supporting him, especially when he's fighting 100%. For a world title. I get it when you're coming up. I understand that where you won't get as much media. But when you're fighting for every single belt in boxing, against the biggest name in boxing at that stage, you'd expect some support from the media. But unfortunately.
We were losing our shit.
We didn't get it, but I always said it to my old man as well, and we're doing it now because obviously a bit of the media has kind of pushed it aside again. I said, you know what? I am my own media. Anything I put out on my social media goes viral. I'm my own media. I got, when you tally everything up, there's over 1 million people on my social media. You know, the impressions anywhere upwards of 10 to 20 million per certain span. So it's like, what do I need these guys for if I can do it myself?
Yeah, true.
You know, I can put anything out there. I can promote my own fights. So we've always said it that way, and they're going to support. They can support. If not, no problem.
But it's come along for the ride.
Definitely turned around real quick though.
It did, yeah. It turned around real quick. We went from hardly getting any media to being bombarded by so much media that it actually drained me leading into the fight. It actually, killed me. We went from little clippets, in the Telegraph to front page in the Telegraph, front and back, and all these big magazines. Literally front pages of them. So it was a dramatic, turnaround. A lot of people say, everything came too quick, but they don't realize how long I've been on that journey, chasing it and trying to get to the top, because they didn't know the journey until they saw me right there when I was in the spotlight. It was crazy. Documentaries, Channel 7s, there was so much going on, Fox Sports. But it's all part of the game, and you learn from it as well.
It is, yeah. And you're right, we're having massive conversations. We couldn't believe it. We looked through the paper, go, what was that? Like 2 lines. What's going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot of things where it's like you're getting very minimal things. There was times when I was fighting Mickey Bay at Madison Square Garden back in 2019. Big fight in America. But here, nothing. They wouldn't give me anything. So I would literally go through my phone list and see whatever media guys I had in there, go on social media, find anyone that I could, and sending them messages. I'm fighting so-and-so, Madison Square Garden, really big fight. Can I get an article? Can I get a story? Just trying to promote myself through them. A lot of them turned away, said no. A few of them said, yep, we'll do something. But it's very minimal. But that's, little things where people don't realise. People say, he's got all this exposure now, he's a big name, but I'm in 2019 sitting in a rental car, because my kids are upstairs in the little apartment we're staying at, and they're making too much noise because they're babies. And I'm going downstairs writing, names to see who I can speak to, or trying to do interviews with any kind of media. Literally to the point where I hate lying, but I had to lie to him and tell him that, look, we've got a really big fight coming up after this. If you're able to write a story, there's a good chance my team will fly you over for business class to the event, to the fight in America. Just bullshitting to them on purpose to get a story, because I know that's what they want. If they know that they got a business class flight to America to watch boxing, we'll give you a story. In the back of their thing, we're going to get a trip, a holiday. So I had to literally. You got to play the game. Play the game. It's a game to him, and some of them fell for it.
Well, it just talks to the tenacity and the drive.
That's the grit and the willpower to get to the top. To do whatever it takes. We've always said it by any means necessary. And that's not only in the ring or the training, but these small little things. By any means.
I mean, it is an inspiring story, and I mean, for us, we're inspired by it as Greeks of the diaspora. Young kids are looking at you and thinking, I want to be the next George Kambosos, and whether they're involved in boxing or any other sport or whatever it is, they're taking something out of it. It's such an important thing that you're doing, because it's not just fighting, is it?
No, it's not. It's more than just fighting. It's being a role model, inspiring the next generation. As a father, of 3 kids, inspiring them, trying to get them to understand that if they want to achieve anything, sport, academics, school, whatever they want to be, it takes hard work, and they don't understand it yet. They're very fortunate where they can wake up and everything's pretty comfortable for them now, and they see all these belts. And yesterday I got all my shorts framed up from the Lopez fight.
Right.
Beautiful piece. Put it on the wall, and they're just looking at it, but they don't get it. They don't understand that shorts is not just the shorts with blood on it from the fight, but it represents so much. Them shorts represent,
So
what you're able to do.
You didn't watch the shorts. You haven't watched them. You just left it the way they are.
No, I'll show you after the photo of them. On the wall, and they're full of blood, in a beautiful piece. On the wall now for life. That's a part of history. And I've told heaps of people, like, how much would you, someone to buy them off you? They could offer me $5 million. I'd never sell them. So these represent, every bit of hard work for me to get to the top. I don't care what someone gave me. These are priceless, to me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, like 20 odd years worth of investment.
Yeah,
in those shorts,
20
whatever
years
it is.
of hard work, to get to the top. And, them particular shorts, my first World Championship, shorts, mean a lot to me. So finally got to put them up yesterday, and hopefully one day the kids will understand, even they got their names on there. And I told them, go, look, your names are on the shorts.
Oh, wow, you had your kids'
I got my names, their names on the shorts. And literally my daughter goes, which one's first? I go, you're first because you're the oldest. Then my middle guy, Leo, goes, so I'm second? I go, yes. And the little baby doesn't understand. So
Wow.
Kids.
And again, they will understand one day.
Eventually, they will understand. My daughter is starting to. She's starting to understand boxing and fighting. And
how old is she?
She's going on to 6.
Wow.
So she's starting to understand. I played a game with her, a joke on her a couple of days ago. I go, Dad's got to go fight soon again. She's like, oh, okay. I go, in America. Oh, okay. She says, who are you fighting? I go, Devin Haney. She says, oh, because she knows he beat me as a joke. And she goes, oh, I don't want you to fight him again. I go, why? She says, 'cause he made your eyes bruised. I go, so did Lopez. I go, but I beat him. So kids, it's cool sharing these stories, and eventually as they're older, they'll understand more and more.
Do you drop her off at school?
I do, I do sometimes.
What's that like?
All the kids. A lot of the kids that are older, they understand. They come up for photos, and the parents, the dads and mums always want to. I just try to stay low key. Just go in there, sit down, sit in the corner, and wait for her to go in. The teacher actually, it was a funny story. Her teacher's great, but she didn't know who I was, which I was like, oh, beautiful. I don't know who I am. And then 3 months in, I'm dropping her off, and she goes, oh, I was marking a bit of the schoolwork, and my kids saw the name Kambosos, and they go, Kambosos? Well, we're massive fans. And obviously, we follow his dad, so obviously she started looking. So I didn't realise you're a famous boxer. I go,
That's amazing. Shit, what happens when she starts bringing boyfriends home, mate?
No boyfriends until she's 25.
25.
Well, I got 2 boys, so they can sort it out.
That's fine.
Leo's job.
Leo's job. He can sort out the boyfriends.
But speaking of Leo, I saw a photo that you posted recently of your kids. Mate, he's got that look in his eye.
Yeah, he does. He really just he's got that same look like I do. And when he gets angry, he starts throwing them, and I'm trying to get him to throw them a little bit better, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but as a father, I just can't help myself.
Yeah. So if he gets into boxing, you got no issues with that? Or
look, whatever he chooses to do. For me, I've always been like, if he wants to fight, I know how hard this sport is. You can do it. I'll try to protect him as much as I can from this sport. But ultimately, if it's in him and he wants to do it, I'll back you. I'll support you all the way.
Just like your dad did.
Just like my dad did. Boxing, as much as dangerous as it is, it saved so much more lives than it takes. If I wasn't boxing, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't think I would have made it eventually to rugby league because putting on the weight, and I would not have even made the representative team if I never fell into boxing. So
good point.
We'll see if he wants to do it, and I'll support him. If not, he can do whatever he wants as long as it's not things that are illegal. I'll support him.
Well, just by that look of that photo.
He's tough. He's a tough boy.
Can we talk a bit about your tattoos and how many have you got? Do you want to go through some of them?
People ask me how many I got. I say just one big one, because it's all connected now. So it's pretty much like one big piece. I started getting tattooed at 16. My good friend George tattooed. He's actually in Queensland now. So big shout out to George.
With long hair?
Yeah, no, not long hair. George, and we started getting a little bit of tattoos. My first one on my back, my Spartan, and literally as soon as I got home, I go, I'm good now. I won't get another one for 3-4 years, 5 years. And then literally a day went past. I go to my dad, because my dad's obviously got a few tattoos as well. Okay, you reckon we can go see George maybe next week, and I can add this on? And because what happened to 5 years of waiting? I love it. So I can express myself on my skin. For me, I got my heritage as a fighter. When I get to step in front of the world to fight, to be able to have the Spartan warriors on my back, or Achilles on my back, my religion, my saint. There's so much that I get to express without even saying anything. I can just stand here and not say a word, and people can get an idea of what I'm about and who I'm about.
100%.
So
you got Achilles on your back, you said?
I got Achilles on the back when he killed Hector.
Oh, yeah.
When he's literally on his horse and carriage, and he's pulling him,
dragging him.
Troy.
Yeah, I got that on my back. Leonidas on my back. The Greek flag. Bit everything.
Yeah.
So the Achilles one, is that based on the painting or is it
the painting? Yeah,
wow.
Not the movie. People think it's from the movie because obviously they show the same kind of scene. The actual original painting is the original piece that I've got on my back.
So him on the carriage.
On the carriage, yeah.
So that painting is in Corfu. Yeah. In the Achilleon.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
really?
you go, which is where I'm from.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Another connection.
It is.
There you go. Got any plans for any more tattoos?
I got some not so long ago.
Oh, really? What'd you get? What's the latest one?
Yeah, I got my stomach, the ICX in the car. I got that on my stomach. Got a couple other little things. I still got some more plans to get some more. I really want to get my kids' faces, nice portraits.
Oh, nice.
I'm waiting for them to get a little bit older to more distinguished features.
Yep.
I'll get that on my right leg.
Yep.
So yeah, it's
There you go.
it's
'Cause
never
it does
it's
get
never,
addictive,
it's never
doesn't
ending.
it?
It's addictive, never ending.
Everyone
But
says that.
when you got a good artist like George from Tattoo It,
Yeah.
you keep getting the work. A lot of my work I've had many years, but it looks like it's been done yesterday. That's how good it is.
Oh, it's quality. It's like a piece of art.
It is. It really is.
He's very... I'm pretty sure I know George.
Yeah.
He used to train at Titan Gym.
Maybe, yeah.
That's
Doesn't
how I
have
know
long hair now. He's bald.
Probably
now.
bald now. Yeah, I knew him back then. Yeah, we used to
legend.
talk a lot, and he was a tattoo artist. And maybe I've seen a photo. Have you posted a photo? of him?
Yeah. Together getting tattooed. He's tattooing me.
100% it's
Probably
him.
you've seen, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's up in Queensland.
In Queensland.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And one last thing. So you met up. So we talk about podcasts all the time. You met Joe Rogan. You went on his show. So what was that like? What was it like meeting him?
Oh, it was incredible. Obviously, Joe Rogan, he's a global icon.
Yeah.
Such a influential, person. So being able to get asked to go on it.
So he asked you.
Like literally after the fight with Lopez, he put up a photo.
Yep.
And literally on his actual Instagram of me winning the fight with the belts, shocked the world. With obviously tagged my name in there.
Yep.
And followed me. I was pumped when I saw that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I obviously reached back out to him and we started chatting, and we made it work to do the podcast together before I flew back home to Sydney. And that really just
Took
it's one thing, being a world champion, but when you start to do certain things like that, it really takes you, outside the box.
And was it in his house? Where does he do his podcast?
No, he's got a big warehouse. You'd never tell from the outside. And literally, he's got this.
This is
amazing
his new studio, isn't it? In Austin?
Yeah, his new studio in
Texas.
Texas,
Yeah.
Texas, yeah.
It sounds like it's in his house, the way they talk about it.
No,
So
it's actually in a big warehouse.
Warehouse,
And his
okay.
place
is set up incredible. Yeah, he's got $100-something million Spotify deal. So
he's done well for himself.
It's not this.
but he started like very humble and low key, and then he built it up.
Well, he still sounds very humble.
Yeah,
very
he is
grounded.
great guy. Yeah, really good guy, and it was surreal. Doing it with him. I was literally like pinching myself.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
sitting here talking to Jerry, having
Number
a
one in
conversation
the
for like
world.
an hour and a half.
Well, we were pinching ourselves thinking, shit, this is something that we listen to all the time.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
one of our people, on there, It was amazing.
Definitely.
It's incredible. It's good
Wow.
fun.
And is there a bit of banter before you go on there, or you just get straight into it?
So when we're in the warehouse, because it's obviously still that COVID period, especially big over there, we just done some COVID tests, make sure.
Yeah.
And then Joe, comes out. He's only small. Obviously, we start having a chat, and then we're talking, and we're having a really good talk. And he goes, no, stop. He goes, let's live for the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we're getting too much information now. We're done.
I see.
I go get it.
Yeah.
See, we do
that's
that a lot. Some of our best stuff is out the front door when you leave.
as we're walking out.
Fuck, we should have said that.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dear. Fantastic. Well, look, all the best for the fights coming up. We know that you're going to be climbing this mountain again, and we're going to be right there cheering with you along with all the Greek diaspora. George Kambosos, thank you so much for being on We'll Talk. Mate.
absolute pleasure. Thanks so much, and obviously thank you to all the Greek people worldwide, and obviously all the Australians and everyone worldwide supporting me. Not only the Greeks and the Aussies, but a lot of fans all over the world. So Appreciate the support, and we keep working hard to achieve more.
Definitely,
legend.
mate.
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
look, there's definitely a lot of us, mate. There's double outside of Greece, so you got a massive cult following, and
it's big.
and like to think we got a lot of them on our podcast now. Our numbers are increasing.
Well, it's growing.
all the time,
It's definitely growing, and I'm sure our audience is going to be very happy to see George's face and hear his voice on the podcast.
yeah,
definitely.
Good stuff. Thank you, George.
Thanks, guys.
Amazing
We
having
appreciate
you
it.
here.
uzotalk@outlook.com is the email. Make sure you send us your feedback through there, and at Uzo Talk on social media or at Uzo_talk on Instagram. Nick Athanasiou, thank you very much, mate.
Well done, Tom. You said it perfect this time.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you. See you, everyone.
See you guys.
Ακολουθήστε μας στο Soundees, στο Spotify, στο Apple Podcasts και στο Google Podcasts.